Sweet. So we have the winner of Smash 2 Pieces number 3, H4DS. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So pretty interesting bracket. We had some last minute people hopping out of bracket, making it an interesting set, but it I think the main story here from what I can see is just the run with Killa and how close it was. And
yeah.
I mean, I just kind of want to hear your thoughts on like what you initially thought coming in today, and when you were looking at the bracket, like, okay, who's my threats, and then what it ended up actually being.
Yeah, I saw my bracket and it was something like Dam into Pandarian and winners semis, winners finals. I don't remember who I played in duels. But I was like, oh, this tournament isn't super stacked. Like, I should be fine. And then people started dropping out. It's like, whatever. I'm just gonna play to play. And I actually came in today thinking like, okay, I want to practice Power Mithra a lot, because I've just decided that they're easy, fun, broken, cover all of my matchups. I'll never have to play Pika Game & Watch again, and I can just...
It's a very logical, if you have good fundamentals and you're a top player, it's a very logical, like, why would I not get this character to a polished position where I can pull them out?
Yeah, they're so good. And yeah, you saw my set with Killa. I was literally one hit away from winning game 4, because he was out of resources, no jump, he had to air dodge back to the stage. And I tried to like swag down air and kill him, where like any of the other aerials, forward, pyro forward air, and air, up air would have killed. But good on him. I just haven't quite figured out a lot of ways to like clutch games with them yet. But I think you saw like my punish game with Mithra was feeling really good.
Yeah. It didn't look like the desperation. It looked like there's actually been some work in the Pyro Mithra for sure. It's also just like funny seeing some of the sets with Mum's Cookie where he's just kind of like, I'm gonna like, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he beat you and then swapped to
That
Bayo?
set was very weird.
Like I didn't understand what I was like. Excuse me?
I beat him Super Omega last hit with Pyro Mithra. Like, I actually got lucky. I probably shouldn't have won that game. And then he like cheesed me with Thunder off stage, which is just gonna happen sometimes. And so it was 1-1, and then he's like, all right, I'm going Bayo. And I was like, oh, because I'm notoriously bad against Bayo. Like,
so there was a little bit of a thought process.
I've lost to all the Wi-Fi Bayos. I've lost to Pokepen's Bayo. But I have put a decent amount of work into the matchup recently because it has been a problem, and I actually think Bayo is a very slept-on character.
So I've been in the Bayo is, I don't want to say bad, but I've been in the Bayo is not very good train since day one, just because of like, I always see, whenever I see a good Bayo play, I'm like, their opponent is at 175 and not dying, and then she just dies. And it's like, okay, she looks cool and does a bunch of cool stuff, but why do I keep seeing her lose and not be able to kill?
I don't know why she can't kill. Like, she has back air, she has a counter that kills you instantly. She has like the crazy combos, crazy edge guarding. I think her specials are some of the best set of specials in the game. Like, she has a super scary counter. She has the gun thing isn't really that great, but
it's not awful. It's usual.
Yeah. But just the side B and the up B are ridiculous. Like, the up B is what, like, I think it's frame 4, something
it's
like that.
fast.
Yeah, and so you have to play around those two inside the game. But I just don't think Archer practices Bayo at all. And I was doing a lot of the counterplay where you just want to stay grounded and rely on grabs, and it worked out. I was able to just grind that one out, and then he went back to Pichu, and I'm super comfortable in Pika versus Pichu. I think the matchup is like not free, but pretty bad.
Is it really? Because I've always thought about the rat. I've never seen that actual matchup really, and on paper I'm like, okay, I think Pikachu probably just wins, but I wasn't sure like how much Pikachu wins.
It's mostly just because my tail is bigger. Up air just destroys all of what Pichu does, and then I also will just nair down, smash, and kill him at 70. So. And
you have the better quick attack.
And quick attack just goes straight through Pichu T-Jolt. So if he T-Jolting anywhere near the ground, I just quick attack and it beats it. That's some new Archer technology that he was telling me about. I actually didn't utilize that enough today.
Interesting. Yeah. I've never seen the rats fight. I've never seen the rat fight
It's
before.
super funny looking though.
It is kind of funny. I was actually kind of into it. It's like, I'm not a huge fan of the rats generally. I'm like kind of agnostic on them. But I've never seen the Pikachu brawl. So I was like, it's kind of funny, interesting to see them trying to combo each other and these two little yellow balls just smashing electricity into each other. And then it was funny because I actually interviewed earlier Killa, and he was talking about how he was saying, he's like, I think people are sleeping on me and I'm good and I'm going to show it. And like, it's kind of great because he clearly has a tournament mentality. And like, I mean, he came in and outplaced his seed, but also just like, I think he he was just saying, like no one's talking about me for PR or anything,
Yeah.
and like I think this event, he got top 8 last time, but like this is like okay,
Yeah.
PR
Did he
wins.
beat Nikolov today?
I actually
he technically did get a set on me, so he can use that
yeah,
all
no,
he wants
I mean,
for PR. Like,
exactly. I mean,
yeah.
he establishes like I am, people aren't talking about me, but I am. He said he's a fringe, top 15 threat. So it's like, which is crazy because that was the next thing I wanted to ask you about your perception of the state of the region and just how stacked, especially in that kind of maybe top 25-ish range. It's just so dense. There's so many good people, and there's new people. I mean, Captain Carson getting an orbiter.
He's gotten so good.
He's like out of and very quickly too. It's just like all these people are all of a sudden threats.
There's a lot of people that are threats for sure. But I think the top 5 are definitely kind of level above. And like one of my biggest goals for this season is I want to win a tournament where Pandarian, Pokepen, and Ludo are all there. Because I've never won a tournament that's stacked like that.
With the 4 horsemen.
Yeah. Like JDB, people like that. I just want to win a tournament where like everybody's there because all the tournaments that I've won in Washington so far have been over like one PR player and like I do well against them, but I just haven't been able to put it together and get like an actual win.
Because that's
Substation, I beat JDB and Nano Ash, but there was no Pandarian, there was no Pokepen.
Ludo was there.
Ludo was there, but I didn't play him.
Right.
Jared was there too. That was a really good one for me.
That one was. I was gonna say, I think that one was pretty stacked. But in the most recent, I didn't actually look at the Orbiter results, so I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't go there.
Oh, you didn't go to that one.
Yeah, because I was about to go to Canada like the next day, so I didn't want to take the COVID risk right before going.
Right. That makes sense.
And Canada was awesome, so I had a good run.
So you say there's like 5-ish. Are you? I'm gonna guess. I think. Are you saying that it's yourself, Pandarian, Justice, Ludo, Pokepen?
I think top 5 right now is.
That's off the cuff.
Me, Pandarian, Ludo, Pokepen, JDB.
Oh right.
I think that's probably the top 5.
And honestly, like. When I think about because JDV, as far as JDV versus Justice, I think Justice has beaten JDV like one time, and JDV has just been really consistent. I'm interested though, because I don't know how JDV's spread against all those other players are. I
think I'm 2-0 against him. I think he hasn't lost to Sierra yet. And then he has a hard time against Pokemon.
And then I guess, it's always hard to say with Mini, just because they just don't. It's like, how often do they play?
Yeah, they're just always a threat. And
but
if they're top 5 skill level.
Yeah, exactly. If they decide I'm going to start going to every event, all of a sudden, then it becomes even more crowded in that top 5. So if you had to say. And it's interesting, 5 to 10, kind of up in
There's
the
so many
air.
good players. It's
but then, you go to, I think for me, what's most interesting, because there's some people who shoot in for that. I'd say, Jonas,
Mystery Soul,
FDP, Mystery Soul. If Justice isn't top 5, then, in that 5 to 10. But I think it gets really interesting when you're looking at who's getting shoot in for that,
the 10, honestly, the 10 spot is going to be kind of crazy, because I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much, because, I think PR speculation is fun, but when I go to a tournament, I try not to care about PR. I just focus on what my goals for the tournament are. And but I think there's 9 players that are guaranteed PR, and then the 10 spot could be whoever.
But then, so it's going to be top 15 though.
Is it? 10 through 15 will be interesting.
That's where I think is really interesting. The 10 through 15, it's really tough to tell.
Sekaldorf, Capsize.
Capsize just really becoming a super explosive.
He's so good. I played him at Sinistar Saga, and I was just this is a completely different player than
really leveled up. I'm just gonna be really. I think there's a lot of people who are just itching for that first season to be over so they can see their realizations come to fruition and exactly who it can be. But just to end it, I'm kind of curious about. I was asking Kill what your kind of thoughts are for maybe unexpected, unexpected setups, mix-ups, upsets at port priority, which is fast approaching now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe people you think are going to overperform, people are going to underperform, people who are just, what do you think is people are sleeping on that?
Obviously, Archer is going to do well because he never misses at big tournaments.
Okay, just a segue. Before quarantine, before COVID, I didn't really know him at all. I just knew I knew the name and the tag, but I do distinctly remember because I pool captained a lot of Orbiter.
Yeah.
He would go like 1-2 all the time.
Yeah.
And then I see a Tri-Town.
Top 8.
It blew up. What the fuck is this? Who is this guy? Because that was my perception. This like solid, respected player who's been in the scene a long time, but just like a solid player, and then top 8 at a 200-person regional. And now it's just like acknowledged it. He's really good.
I think Justin is going to do super well. He's a clutch player.
And the min-min
plays a broken character. I mean, I really hope he could run into like some Greninja player or some Sheep player or something.
Fox or something.
Yeah. I don't think he would lose to Pikachu other than like me or Sam. And then even me would be scared. So I think Justice is going to overperform his seed. I don't know. JDV, I think he's super good and he could, but it's just hard to perform with that character because he can have a hard time killing, and then once he gets behind, he's in a lot of trouble. But I don't doubt that JDV has a good chance too. Obviously, Pandarian, probably the most seasoned player that we have in terms of majors, so I think that she's gonna. If I had to place my bet on who the highest placing Washington player would be Pandarian.
Interesting. So it's interesting you said that because Killa was like, I actually think that Pandarian does a lot better at tournaments where she doesn't have a lot of support, like where she's not got her, scene or people around her. Random events does really well, and then events where it's like home turf doesn't do as well. So that was his prediction.
I didn't know that. I mean, I just always have seen Pandarian do always in top 32 of regionals or regionals/majors, just super consistent. So
yeah, if I were to place my bets, I generally think it's funny. Kill also mentioned he thinks Justice is also going to overperform just because again the matchup and just being pretty clutch. And do you have any top players who are coming in, do you think, are just going to, I
have no idea. I don't even know the top players that are coming.
We got, I think,
I think Mars will destroy everybody if he comes.
Come back with a vengeance after the 33rd placing.
Yeah, if Mars comes to Washington, I don't think any Washington players can beat him. I think he'll, because we don't have Zero Suits and he's just crazy. So that is.
It'll be like no one's played against a Zero Suit like that before. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and so any particular player that you really want to play? Light.
Yeah, I think I can beat him. Yeah, I'm very.
The Fox Pika matchup.
Fox matchup is good for me. I'm very good at it. I've played it a lot, and I think I'm just good against aggressive players. So,
which he is, the sleeves rolled up, holding the W key forward.
I don't think I'd be favored to beat him, but out of the huge wins that I could get, I would want to play Light, and I think it'd be a fun set too. And I would love to play Leo. I think I have a less than 5% chance of beating him, but I mean, we take those. So.
If you had to say, just out of curiosity, because I didn't even think about Leo, who in Washington do you think has the best? No, I mean everyone is obviously not.
Yeah.
Who has the best chance? Do you think of taking a set off of Leo?
Low key, Poker Pen.
You think so?
He might just be able to just move on him. I have no idea. But Pokemon or maybe Justice too, just because I don't know how much Leo's played against Min Min. And it's you need to find, for a big upset potential, you need to find the players that are kind of inconsistent and super good with their characters. Qfex, he's super good with Diddy Kong, kind of inconsistent, but he could just blow up a PGR player in a 2 out of 3 set. So even a player like Archer could just destroy Leo with Pichu. I don't know. You never know.
Interesting. Well, congratulations on another first place. How many? Just out of curiosity, what is the kind of first place spread that you've currently gotten just in recent tournaments?
I haven't been to that many tournaments recently. I got second at the Everest Evenings to Spade. I got really bad at Cheese Famunda, the back and ball free local. I think I got 7th or 9th or something.
Shout out to Spade, another really good Captain Falcon character.
Yeah, she's super good. And then I think this is the first tournament that I've won in a long time. third at BC. I don't quite remember. I kind of took like a 2 week or so hiatus.
Right.
I was out camping for like 4 days.
Yeah,
and
got to
then,
get out there.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be back. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going down to Oregon tomorrow. But yeah, I really haven't won a tournament. Oh, I won Sinistar Saga like 2 weeks ago over Fire the Pyro and Capsize.
We'll take it.
Yeah, I love Bellingham. That's such a good show.
Yeah,
I
I need to get up there.
I haven't been to Roadside or anything in forever, so.
Awesome. Well, we definitely have Orbiter to look forward to next Friday. And after that, I mean, we're getting pretty close to port priority.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Of course, man.
Smash to Pieces #3, signing off.